this was an article in the Tampa Bay Business Journal, and maybe they should call me, because they should have had that real estate is obviously significantly impacted by a hurricane. It's the most expensive asset that people own, the most expensive to insure, the most expensive to maintain, and a lot of people on the East Coast lost their homes, had homes damaged, need to have their homes renovated now, prompting them to, even put in shutters, and so the real estate market is dramatically impacted when we get hit by a storm. You'll have people move, and then you'll have people scared to move. We just sold a $1.2 million home to a lovely couple from China, and it was our listing that we had on the market, beautiful luxury property, and they multiple times throughout the process got concerned about whether they want to live in Tampa Bay and in Florida in general. And I think it's really important to understand that our real estate market is not just about people in Tampa Bay. Everyone in Tampa Bay knows that if a storm hits the East Coast, is it really going to impact us that much? Not really. But the reality is everyone across the world doesn't see sunshine and rainbows in Florida every day on the news. They see the tormenting of a hurricane, the shooting in Orlando, they see the bad stuff and they see a blip of it. So their vision of what Florida is like is drastically different than reality. So when these bad things happen to our state, it does hurt our real estate market. We lose interest from outside the country because those folks now have a vision in their mind of, I don't want to move there. They get hit with hurricanes all the time. Even though Tampa Bay hasn't had a direct hit in forever, and all of our homes are great, and all this, people will naturally be afraid because the storm hit hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away. Even the sinkhole that was out in like the Mosaic area, these folks were concerned about that. It's like, you have to understand, like, that's a really far away from this home. It's not the same public water system. It's so, but that's the reality. So when these things happen, not only does it impact travel, they mentioned travel and leisure, power outages, fuel prices go up, agriculture could change because there's some of that gets damaged. Retailers, you're gonna have some retailers shut down. You're gonna have some supply chains kind of go out of whack for a little bit. Not only all that, but real estate is a huge problem when these storms hit, and it causes people to move. People have a bad experience with a storm, and they say, you know what, I'm moving to Ohio. I'm tired of this. So I think that's something that the article missed that I was kind of surprised about, but it takes a real estate economic impact, and it's hard to tell. You can't predict and know what the impact is on real estate, at least from outside the country, people coming in, but it ultimately does have a considerable impact. And the other things you guys learned through this, the process with the Hurricane Matthew and the storms that you think are important for people in the real estate world, buying, selling. I know we talked about the flood insurance. I think that's a big takeaway that just a lot of people really need to look into.
Yeah, well, you mentioned all the negative aspects of the news that gets out about Florida, and I've had these conversations with clients who ask me as an insurance agent, what's my opinion on this or that? And the fact of the matter is, you mentioned moving to Ohio. Well, Ohio, it's a nice place, but they have tornadoes.
They have tornadoes, right.
Go to Chicago, they
have
have tornadoes.
You don't have any announcements on that. It's
right.
It's
go,
quick.
Go to Los Angeles, you've got earthquakes, or go to Phoenix, you've got dust storms. Every single place, in the country has its negative aspects. But here in sunny FLA, we've got a lot of benefits to living here. And I think it's a great place to live. I think the insurance is not really that much different than any other place in the country. It's just different types of calamities that you're looking out for. And in general, I think, the news should focus a little bit more on the positive going forward.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I wish the news was positive. That's why I really don't watch it. I advertise a lot on it, but sometimes it's hard for me to tolerate it because it's a negative news cycle almost all the time.
I agree.
But you're right in that, which is why there's so many economic councils, government agencies promoting Florida to kind of buck that trend. So there are ways that people get the message out. Real estate agents obviously saying, come here, see it. Once you experience it, it's a little different than what you might see in a 30-second news blurb about a storm. So we've definitely, I think, have that obligation as a large real estate company that works with a lot of customers to do that over and over again. But certainly there are organizations and institutions out there whose sole purpose is letting people know about all the good in Florida. But overseas, that's what they see, and that's the impression that they have, and it freaks them out because they think that's like the norm, and it's rare, you know.
Right, right.